This is Radar Father and today we're coming at you with another edition of MLB Observations Week 8 of the 2024 season. Let's start with the Pirates. McCutchen has been there the last two seasons to provide power and RBI production in the middle lineup when he plays DH or plays the occasional outfield. Him leading off is silly. Reynolds perfect at the two-hitter, so McCutchen should be in the middle lineup. Because then Olivares, who's a career backup outfielder, batting cleanup is not scary. And Connor Joe has some pop, so that's fine. He's batting in the lineup again. Stop playing him in the outfield. Chase Juan Bay, I thought he should be in the opening day second baseman, but apparently they didn't think he was ready enough or injuries or whatever. But now he's out there playing center field because there's no time playing second base. He's lost that job. Cubs, Happ was batting second, which I had a problem with. Now they've lowered him down the lineup to like fifth or sixth. That's fine. He should be in the middle of the lineup. Bellinger has played a lot of right field recently, which is cool, and Talkman's been batting first. I like that. Play more Belly in right field, but now Suzuki's back, so he's going to play right field. And him batting second's okay, but you want in the middle of the lineup. Because no offense to Christopher Morel, he's a very talented offensive player, but he's not a cleanup power hitter. That's what the fourth spot usually is. Michael Busch, again, we brought. He's the second baseman, third baseman, playing first base, and he's made some mistakes. Master Boney, he's a backup infielder that most teams wouldn't make him the primary backup infielder. He'd be like the second or third infielder. So him batting sixth is way too high. Wisdom, he's only on the team for his offense, so he should not be batting first or playing third base. Same thing with Madrigal. I know that second base is Nico Horner's job and they need someone to play third base, but that's why you decided to make Burrell your third baseman. Nico Horner, I like when he's batting one or two, but again, what offensive value does a guy who's not a power hitter bring to you? And the big announcement is the Cubs take their longtime starter, probably the longest tenured player, Kyle Hendricks, and made him a reliever, and it's just odd to see him pitching as a reliever when he's a starter. But apparently the Cubs have 5 other guys who are pitching better that they have on the roster, so you might as well do it. Washington, C.J. Abrams leading off, that's fine, that's where he should be at the top of the lineup. Rosario's a power hitter, should be in the middle of the lineup, while Ildemaldo Vargas is not an outfielder, he is not an everyday player, and he's not a great offensive player. On most teams, he'd probably not be on the roster because he's probably on the bottom tier of utility players. So him batting in the middle lineup is silly. Second once is fine, and Senzel, again, if he's not batting 1 or 2, you want to put Senzel at the bottom. He's not a cleanup hitter. And then I guess I wrote this twice. Rosario second, because again, he should be in the middle lineup. And then Garcia, the dude's been demoted so many times. If he's not going to bat at the top, then bat at the bottom, not fifth. Phillies, the whole Kyle Schwarber leading off is stupid, but at least he's DHing. Because what happens is when he leads off and JT Realmuto bats second, it's Harper and Alec Bohm in the 4th spot because Castellanos, they've demoted him to such low spot in the lineup that you get Stott in the middle lineup and you get Pache or Brandon Marsh. And it's just not a scary lineup. That's all I'm saying. And I still got to get over the whole Harper playing first base. He should be DH or playing the outfield, but that's just me. And then Stott did bat second once. And then Whit Merrifield's, again, not an outfielder, but the infield's set, even though there's an injury to Trey Turner. He should get some more bats at second base, maybe, or third base. And Cody Clemens batting fifth is way too high for utility guy. Mariners, I like Dylan Moore leading off, or when it was Rojas, when J.P. Crawford was hurt, but now that J.P. Crawford's back, he's batting leadoff, and J-Rod was second. But then yesterday, let's put Julio Rodriguez sixth. What offensive value did that have? And then Ty France, who has been in the middle of the lineup for a few years now, batting eighth is way too low. And then somehow he played second base, and we always had a second baseman. Dylan Moore is not an outfielder, but with J.P. Crawford back, they want to keep him in the lineup, I guess. Austin Voth is not a reliever, he's a starting pitcher. And the Mariners had some injuries, so I don't know why he hasn't even been chosen to start. And J.P. Crawford, I mentioned him leading off, which is good. Orioles, the whole Gunnar, Adley 1 and 2 confuses me when Kowser and Westbrook and Austin Hayes and Mullins have been batting anywhere between 3 and 7 in the lineup. That doesn't scare you. Mullins 8th is totally fine. But the fact that they demoted Mountcastle to 6th or 7th, that's kind of pretty low. And then, again, how many young outfielders does this team have between Kowser, Austin Hayes, Cedric Mullins, Santander, just outfielders, and they had McKenna at one point, and then they have this Cresper guy, and they have whatever his name is, and they have Stour. There should be zero reason that Ryan O'Hearn plays the outfield. If he's not going to start at first base or DH, just give him the day off. It's not hard to think about that. And then the whole Gunner shortstop last year, third base, I don't know. You're playing Westbrook at third base a lot of days. I think one of those guys should be put in the middle lineup because Gunner's such a good offensive player. White Sox. Vaughn and Sheets are slow. 2 of the slowest first baseman DHs in the league. And Vaughn hasn't been hitting great, and Sheets kind of tailed off a little bit. But with Eloy back from the injury list at a few weeks back, you're like, okay, fine, you play Sheets in right field. But now that Vaughn's hurt, never play Sheets in the outfield and stop batting one of them second. Because on single, they don't score from second base a lot, and they don't go for first and third. There's many games where the ball will sit down the line and no one scores. You're like, oh my God, what are you doing? And then Benintendi, if he's not batting fifth or sixth, and now you're not going to put Vaughn and Sheets second, maybe put him second. Maybe. At least one day they put Nicky Lopez second with Pham at the leadoff spot, and that makes sense. And then one day before Lloyd got hurt, they're like, screw it, we'll throw him in right field. Like, what are you doing? The dude's fragile, and he got hurt, obviously. And then, obviously, Remillard keeps coming back and forth with his team somehow, to be honest, but he's not an outfielder. And Mike Soroka, we know he's been a bad starter, but he kind of looks weird being a relief pitcher. Yankees, the whole Judge, Soto, Verdugo outfield alignment, I still have a problem with your best asset in Judge playing every day in center field, but at least he's not batting 1 or 2. But Soto's batting second, and he's the perfect 3-hitter, and I like Volpe leading off. Jays. Okay, if George Springer's going to be your leadoff hitter and play right field every day, cool. No longer getting hurt playing center field, cool. But what's great was that Bo Bichette was batting second. Now he's batting like cleanup or third or fifth, and that's not his game. He's a good offensive shortstop, but he's good at the top of the lineup. Okay, and then I'm like, cool, Schneider's been leading off. I like that. But he's not an outfielder because when he plays left field, you know what happens? Varsho plays center field, and I know he's a good defensive outfielder when he plays corner, but he's not a center fielder. Then they're like, we'll try Varsho second. No, if Varsho should be batting fifth, sixth, or seventh. Okay? Jansen. He's the better defensive catcher than Alejandro Kirk, who's a better offensive catcher, and he's slow. So, again, like the White Sox thing, why put a slow guy second? Biggio, again, like Schneider, stop playing him in the outfield, and IKF is not a shortstop. The only reason to have Ernie Clement on this roster is that he can actually play shortstop. Great. The whole Yandy Diaz leading off with Randy second is pretty stupid. Those guys should be both in the middle of the lineup. But at least Randy's bat third a lot. Aranda, I thought he's second baseman, third baseman, so a lot of first base DH on him. Palacios, I don't know what's going on with him. He plays second base or right field. What is he? Harold Ramirez is not a great offensive player to be a DH or to bat third. And then you got Josh Lau batting second when I think you maybe want him batting lower in the lineup to drive in runs. And Brandon Lau is not a cleanup hitter. If he's not going to bat second, maybe put Brandon Lau third and move Randy to fourth and put, Paredes fifth. Cleveland, Freeman's a shortstop. The whole center field experiment is silly because he makes bad plays. They've lost a DH maneuvering, and then Fry, I know they wanted to bat in the lineup, but he's not a left fielder, and he's definitely not a third baseman. And I like seeing Florial play in the outfield, which is pretty good because, again, he is an outfielder. Twins, Julian leading off makes sense, speed and contact, but what doesn't make sense is Correa or Larnach or Jeffers in the 1-2 spot. All three of those guys are out there for offense, to drive in runs, hit home runs. And then Willie Castro, he had a terrible week in center field, so why you keep doing this? He pitched in a blowout. Kyle Farmer, leave it over this. He's a useful utility guy, so you want to play him a second once in a while, first base, third base, cool, but he's not a shortstop. And Manuel Margot is not a power hitter, so he should not be batting third. That's why you got Correa and you got Buxton. And then Kuroff, I'm confused, though they kept saying he's not going to play the outfield. He's going to platoon a first base and DH with Carlos Santana. Well, he's playing a lot of outfield, so it's confusing. Miami, keep Jazz Chisholm in a leadoff spot with Luis Ariz traded. Then he batted fifth one. Also another idea, no offense to Otto Lopez and Brujan, those are backups or journeyman type of players. You should be playing him back at second base. Let a real center fielder patrol center field or move De La Cruz to center field. That's all I'm going to say. And again, Nick Gordon, stop playing him in the outfield. Maybe actually put him in the infield. Maybe. I like Cruz second. That's not a bad spot for him. Let's keep maneuvering this lineup. Nimmo should be leading off. That's the whole point of him. He's a great leadoff hitter. Lindor hit 40 home runs in a season before. So has Pete Alonso. The two of them should be batting in the 3 and 4. And that's why I got JD Martinez for protection to bat fifth. That's just the whole entire reason for that. The Mets lost DH with maneuvering. And again, Lindor leading off and Pete Alonso batting second is stupid. At least he batted third once, Lindor. Mets. The Braves. I'm okay with Acuna leading off if the lineup was stacked where it went Riley. It went Austin Riley and Matt Olson and Eddie Rosario and Marcelo Zuna, and then Sean Murphy when he's healthy because he's been hurt. And then you go, oh, cool, I see him in the All-Star team last year. Oh, Michael Harris, he's a good player. Then you get, that's when you get down to the weeds. Like, okay, that's the lineup. That's not a bad lineup. But the problem is when Michael Harris is batting sixth and RC is batting fifth, and you got Chadwick Thumb and Jared Kalenic, and you're playing Zach Short of this Williams guy at third base because Riley's been hurt apparently, It's not a scary lineup. That's when you want to put Acuna maybe third or fourth. That's just what I'm saying. It's just not scary when you're missing guys and those guys are batting there. But again, right field's a great revelation for him. San Diego, I'm glad Profire's not a lot of leading off because Luis Ariz is here and Bogarts is not leading off. But again, Bogarts is not second baseman. He should be getting more bats at first base and DH. And Cronenworth, I played second base once because they were like, wow, let's put Luis Ariz at first base. But again, Cronenworth has been good this year, but he's not a first baseman, so he's not going to put up the value of an offensive player at first base. When he plays second base or shortstop and he puts offensive value, that's really talented. That's an all-star caliber player. Again, Profire has no business batting third. When you got Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado, and Alexander Bogarts in your lineup, those guys should be the 3 through 5. You want to have Profire in the lineup, then you bat him like 6th or 7th. They think with Cronenworth if one of them's not batting at the top with Luis Ariz. That's all I'm saying. 8th, Abraham Turrell's not a leadoff hitter, and he's certainly not an outfielder like we've been over this with Tyler Nevin. Like, Turrell is a third baseman, so he's played third base, good. But they also have J.D. Davis. It's too many guys. So, just stop batting him leadoff. He should be middle line. J.W. Day, good. He didn't bat third all week. He batted second. Good. Geloff, he was good in the top of the lineup. Why is he batting 5th or 6th? Again, not his offensive game. Royals, Miguel Garcia drives a lot of runs. He should not be leading off. Velasquez, again, he's a natural-born outfielder. Play him. He did once, but they've been DH him a lot. And MJ Melendez play the outfield. He's a catcher. He's not a great outfielder. Renfroe batting 8th is way too low in this lineup. That's all I'm saying. Because after Perez and Pasatino, maybe Massey and MJ Melendez, I think Renfroe should be up there. And again, here Hampton's not an outfielder. Angels. Rengifo batting second is great. And then Tucker, again, glad he's back in the major leagues, but he's not an outfielder. And I love Pilar, but he's not a cleanup hitter. So Shawnell and Taylor Ward are probably their 2 best offensive players. They should be batting 3 and 4 in this lineup because there's nothing else. There really is. There's nothing else in this lineup for the Angels that great. Joe Adell, Mickey Moniak, whatever. I don't know what I wrote here. This Calvin is at first base. But whatever. And then I'm typing stuff up. Texas, Holston and Seager 1 and 2. I think Seager should be third in the lineup, especially when they lost the DH maneuvering and Smith one day batted third and played shortstop when he's not a shortstop. Brewers, Contreras batting second and Adames fourth. I've been over this all season. And then they decided to confound the issue by putting Contreras first and Yelich second. Okay, you're trying to stack the lineup. That's not really stacking the lineup there. And then Miller's not a first baseman. Just play Jake Bowers or Gary Sanchez or something like that, okay? And the Houston, Altuve, Pena 1 and 2 is great. But then they go back to putting Tucker second and Pena 5th. Pena's not a power hitter. Tucker's a power hitter. You just it makes no sense. And I know they play Dubon like a Ben Zobrist, but he's not an outfielder. Red Sox. I like that they took the Abreu guy out of the middle line and put him second with Durant at the top. That's a good 1 and 2. But Wong batting third, no. Tyler O'Neill and Rafael Devers batting 3 through 4 is great. And Devers has been batting fourth a lot when he's been on this home run streak where I think he hit 6 home runs in 6 straight games. And we want Repshotter's on outfielder or DH. Cardinals. Donovan's on an outfielder, but they have to do it with him and Burleson because there's nowhere to put them. Goldie batting third is good. Carpenter's not a leadoff hitter, but I do like that they tried Mason Wynn leading off a few times. Tigers, I like when Riley Green bats leadoff, but not fourth. Like, he's a speed guy. Canna, you got him for offense, not to bat second. Like, he's not a great outfielder, and he's not a great base runner, so he should be power in the middle lineup. Perez is a rookie. Third is way too much. Carpenter, again, not a great outfielder. He makes bad plays. Vierling makes bad plays at third base. He's an outfielder, but I do like when he plays outfield and bats second. And one day Abani is let off. I'm like, cool, makes sense. Torkelson, all the way 7. He should be the middle lineup. Arizona, Corbin Carroll, Marte 1 and 2, 2 and 1. That seems to be the strategy. Never stop changing it. They used an opener one day, and Pavin Smith is again still playing the outfield. He's at first base with DH. India and Cruz 1 and 2's cool. Benson leading off one's cool. This rookie let off one's cool. Those are all good combinations. But what's not a good combination is Fraley batting cleanup because he's not a power hitter, and India batting 7th. Like, what offensive value he has there. And at least Martini came back up, played outfield, didn't DH him. I'm like, good. Steer has still played some games in left field, but consistently batting middle lineup and playing first base is where he should be on a regular basis. Dodgers, Mookie Betts, the whole leading off and playing the infield. Again, your best asset in here, and I take care of him. He's batting leadoff every day and playing a grueling up the middle infield position. Ohtani should be batting third because he's a perfect 3-hitter, not a 2-hitter. Will Smith, the catcher, but I would bat him 5th or 6th. But instead of Gavin Lux. Like, Gavin Lux is not a great offensive player. He's not proven it, so, like, I don't get it. And then one day, they're like, we'll put Freddie Freeman second because Ohtani didn't play apparently. Like, that's stupid. Like, Freddie Freeman's a perfect cleanup hitter. And just like Michael Busch, they got this Vargas infielder guy, and they have nowhere to put him, so they're playing him in the outfield. That's what the Dodgers are doing. They're playing infielders in the outfield, or rookies, or young guys in the outfield, because Mookie Betts is not out there. That's why it's so stupid. Blackman or Tovar 1 and 2 makes sense. But again, Rockies lost to DH twice maneuvering, which is just weird managing. Bouchard is on an outfielder. We've been over this. Lambert's pitching out of the bullpen when he probably should be starting. And then Rogers and Doyle are out there defensively, not middle lineup hitter. And then Giants. So Soler should not be batting leadoff. I know you lost Lee for the whole season, but you got better options than that. Okay, Lamonte Wade Jr. still playing first base. Come on. They've had so many injuries in the outfield. Play him in the outfield. Estrada, perfect in the 2 or 1 spot, but he's not a 3 hitter. Sable caught because he's actually a catcher, but Brett Wisely's not an outfielder, so don't play him there. Thank you again for listening to another edition of MLB Observations Week 8. For On the Renter Today blog for the MLB season, I'm Radar. See you guys next time.